The sky darkened with unusual streaks of light as the first alien ships appeared above Earth. Cities froze in disbelief as massive shadows moved silently through the clouds. Humanity had heard rumors of distant galactic powers, but no one expected them to arrive so suddenly. Governments scrambled, sending messages and warnings, yet fear spread faster than any organized response. In the heart of New York, Dr. Lena Morales stared at the monitor, her hands trembling. The council's ultimatum flashed on the screen: surrender or face total annihilation. People laughed nervously at first, thinking it was some impossible hoax, until the ships fired a warning strike over the Pacific Ocean. Panic erupted worldwide. Amid the chaos, a small team of scientists discovered a strange pattern in the alien signals. It was as if the ships were communicating not just with each other, but also observing Earth's reactions carefully. Dr. Morales realized that these invaders underestimated humans. Maybe, just maybe, there was a way to turn fear into strength. The world watched as the Council demanded unconditional surrender. Yet leaders, civilians, and even rogue hackers began a united effort. Secret weapons, long hidden, were activated. Satellites realigned, and signals were redirected. Every move was calculated to confuse the alien observers. Humanity had no chance, or so it seemed. Then, without warning, a massive ship slowed its descent, hovering above the Atlantic. The Council expected trembling, submission, but instead Earth laughed. Broadcast across the globe showed people cheering, defying the ultimatum with courage no machine could predict. The aliens froze, unprepared for the resilience of a species they thought fragile. In that moment, humanity realized something vital. Fear could be faced, threats could be challenged, and even the mightiest powers could be stunned by defiance. Earth had survived, not through submission, but through cleverness, unity, and a simple, unbreakable will.
The world was still shaking from the first encounter when another message arrived from the Galactic Council. This time, it was harsher. You have 5 Earth days to surrender completely. Failure will bring destruction beyond your imagination. The announcement sparked fear across every continent, but also something unexpected: determination. In a hidden underground lab, Dr. Morales and her team worked tirelessly. The strange patterns from the alien signals hinted at weaknesses. She studied them carefully, noticing that the ships adjusted their movements in response to human actions. Every attack, every defensive maneuver was observed and countered, but if humans could outthink them, maybe there was a chance. Meanwhile, across cities and towns, ordinary people were changing. Teachers, engineers, and even teenagers found courage in the chaos. Secret communication networks formed. Civilians shared knowledge of unusual electromagnetic readings, old experimental tech, and forgotten satellites that could be repurposed. Humanity was starting to fight back, not with brute force, but with cleverness. High above Earth, alien scouts hovered, their sensors scanning every human movement. They expected fear, submission, and confusion. Instead, they encountered calculated responses, small but meaningful resistance, and even defiant broadcasts mocking the Council's threats. Confusion rippled through the alien ranks. Could these fragile beings really pose a threat? The first real encounter with the alien forces was unlike anything humanity had imagined. Over the Pacific Ocean, massive ships descended silently, their surfaces glowing with eerie light. Radar screens across Earth went berserk, showing shapes and movements no one could immediately comprehend. Panic gripped the population, yet beneath it, a careful plan was unfolding. Dr. Morales and her team had predicted this moment. Using modified satellites and ancient defense systems, they prepared a trap, one that the aliens could not anticipate. Signals were sent to lure the scouts into precise zones where electromagnetic pulses could temporarily disable their systems. It was risky. One miscalculation could trigger a full-scale disaster. In orbit, the scouts adjusted, scanning for anomalies. Their sensors were advanced, far beyond anything humans had built. Yet there was something strange. They hesitated. Patterns in Earth's defenses were inconsistent, unpredictable. The aliens couldn't fully understand the intentions behind each move, and hesitation in their ranks gave humans a narrow window of opportunity. On the surface, ordinary people watched in awe as flashes of light streaked across the sky. Cities held their breath, seeing the first sign that humanity could fight back. Communications networks were jammed in some areas, but clever engineers rerouted signals, ensuring coordination. Every human involved knew the stakes: survival or total annihilation. Then, in an unexpected twist, a scout ship malfunctioned mid-maneuver, its lights flickering before it crashed harmlessly into the ocean. Cheers erupted among humans watching from afar. For the first time, they realized that the invaders were not invincible. Even the Galactic Council had limits. Dr. Morales' team seized the moment. They launched countermeasures, small but precise, targeting weak points in the scout systems. Each success built confidence. Each failure taught a lesson. Humanity's courage and ingenuity were tested in real time, revealing a spirit the aliens had never predicted. As the encounter ended, the alien forces retreated, confused and cautious. Humanity had survived, not with overwhelming power, but with clever thinking, teamwork, and daring. The Council would now have to reconsider their approach. And for the first time, Earth understood a crucial truth. Fear was not the strongest weapon. Courage, unpredictability, and unity were. Above all, one question lingered in every mind. What would the Council do next?
The Galactic Council was silent for hours after the first encounter. In their massive starship orbiting a distant system, the leaders gathered, their faces unreadable. They had anticipated fear, submission, and panic, but what they witnessed was something entirely unexpected: humanity's courage, ingenuity, and defiance. Confusion rippled through their ranks. How could such a fragile species act with such precision and unpredictability? Back on Earth, Dr. Morales and her team analyzed every detail from the encounter. The scout ship's patterns, their reactions to human tactics, even minor miscalculations, all offered critical insight. Humanity now had a small advantage: understanding the aliens better than they understood humans. Yet there was no time to celebrate. The Council would respond, and their retaliation could be devastating. Meanwhile, ordinary citizens were quietly becoming heroes. Engineers in basements, teachers in schools, even children sending critical data from makeshift devices, all contributed to the growing web of resistance. The world was united by a single purpose: survival. The suspense was thick as everyone waited for the Council's next move. No one knew when it would come or how powerful it would be. Then the warning came. A massive transmission across every communication channel. The Council's voice was calm, chilling, and absolute. Humanity underestimates us at its peril. Surrender or face consequences beyond imagination. The threat was clear, yet the reaction on Earth was the opposite of fear. People shared determined looks, whispered plans, and quietly prepared for what might be the most dangerous confrontation in history. High above Earth, new alien ships began forming strange patterns, almost as if they were studying humanity's behavior in real time. Every move humans made was monitored, every countermeasure analyzed. Suspense built because the next action could decide the planet's fate. Humanity was clever, but the Council was relentless. Dr. Morales realized the critical truth. They could not just defend, they had to surprise. Every plan had to be bold, every decision precise. The stakes had never been higher. As the sun set across Earth, casting long shadows over cities and forests, a single thought ran through every mind involved in the resistance. This was not just a fight for survival, it was a test of the human spirit.
Humanity's secret preparations were reaching a fever pitch. In hidden labs and underground bunkers, engineers, scientists, and strategists worked tirelessly. Every signal intercepted from the Galactic Council was analyzed, every weakness noted, and every possibility explored. Dr. Morales watched the activity with cautious optimism. The first encounter had taught them one thing. The aliens were powerful, but predictable, if humans were clever enough to exploit patterns. Across the globe, ordinary people became part of the effort. Farmers monitored unusual skies for scout ships. Teenagers transmitted data from improvised satellites, and teachers and students collaborated on encryption codes to confuse alien communications. The suspense was tangible. Each step forward risked detection and retaliation, yet no one faltered. Humanity's resolve was unyielding. Then, the first major strike was planned. Not a blind attack, but a carefully orchestrated maneuver to disable key alien surveillance systems. Modified drones were launched into orbit, moving in unpredictable patterns designed to confuse alien sensors. Electromagnetic pulses waited in strategic locations, ready to disrupt communications. The tension was unbearable. One misstep could reveal their position and invite total destruction. As the operation began, humans across continents held their breath. City streets were empty, laboratories buzzed with activity, and command centers coordinated every move with precision. For the first time, Earth wasn't just reacting, it was taking initiative. The Council had underestimated the audacity of a species they thought fragile and obedient. The strike hit its target with uncanny accuracy. Alien satellites flickered and went dark, one after another, sending waves of confusion through the Council's forces. On Earth, celebrations were quiet but intense. Humanity had achieved a small, critical victory. Yet everyone knew this was only the beginning. The Council's next response would be harsher, more calculated, and potentially devastating. In the midst of success, Dr. Morales noticed something strange in the intercepted signals. A pattern, almost like the Council was learning, adapting, observing. Suspense thickened. The aliens were intelligent, relentless, and now cautious. Humanity had shown it could resist, but the greatest challenges were still ahead. As night fell, Earth's population looked up at the skies, knowing the future was uncertain. Yet for the first time, they felt the power of defiance. Humanity had struck first, and that boldness might just change the rules of the game forever.
The Galactic Council's response came faster than anyone had anticipated. Massive warships appeared near Earth's orbit, their engines glowing like molten fire. The skies darkened and panic rippled through populations unaware of humanity's secret operations. Yet, in hidden labs and command centers, Dr. Morales and her team remained calm, their eyes fixed on the data streaming in. But Council underestimated one thing. Humans were unpredictable. Every move the aliens made was met with unexpected resistance. Drones, satellites, and electromagnetic pulses disrupted their scanning systems, making it nearly impossible for the invaders to anticipate Earth's next steps. Ordinary people played their part too. Teachers, engineers, and even teenagers coordinated communications, creating confusion among the alien ranks. The first wave of attacks struck coastal cities with precision, testing Earth's defenses. Buildings trembled, alarms screamed, and people ran for cover. But humanity was ready. Emergency protocols, reinforced shelters, and clever countermeasures saved countless lives. The suspense was unbearable as citizens watched flashes in the sky, wondering if this was the end or just the beginning. Meanwhile, Dr. Morales noticed a pattern emerging in the alien attacks. The Council was powerful, but it relied heavily on predictable routines. Every strike left tiny vulnerabilities that humans could exploit. Whispered discussions in underground labs turned into bold plans for a counterattack that might surprise even the most advanced alien minds. As the battle raged above, a small team launched a daring maneuver. Modified spacecraft zipped through the chaos, targeting the aliens' command centers. Flashes of light, sudden blackouts, and unexplained malfunctions spread panic among the invaders. Earth's defenses, though less advanced, had the advantage of ingenuity, creativity, and sheer unpredictability. In a daring twist, one alien warship malfunctioned mid-flight, spinning wildly before crashing harmlessly into the ocean. Cheers erupted among human observers, their hope renewed. Humanity had not only survived the first real attack, but it also sent a message. Earth would not bow. Night fell over the battered yet resilient planet. The Council, though powerful, was learning that intelligence alone could not defeat determination. And humanity, though small and fragile in comparison, had discovered its greatest strength: unity, courage, and the relentless refusal to surrender. The suspense lingered as the world waited, holding its breath for the next move in a battle that had only just begun.
The battle above Earth had reached a critical point. Alien warships patrolled the skies with relentless precision. But humanity had learned to move in unexpected ways. Dr. Morales and her team worked tirelessly, coordinating strategies that combined old technology with new innovations. Every move was calculated, every decision crucial. The suspense hung thick in the air, gripping every scientist, engineer, and volunteer involved in the defense. Then came the turning point. A sudden breakthrough in the alien signal analysis revealed a hidden weakness in their communication network. The Council's forces were linked through a central system, and if it could be disrupted, their coordination would collapse. It was a daring plan, high risk, but potentially the first major advantage humanity had ever held. Teams across the globe prepared simultaneously. Modified satellites, drones, and emergency launch systems were activated. Ordinary people became part of the operation. Pilots guided spacecraft, engineers rerouted power, and civilians transmitted real-time data. Every heartbeat mattered. Every second counted. The suspense was almost unbearable. As the attack began, flashes of light streaked across the skies. Alien sensors went dark, communications faltered, and confusion spread among the Council's ranks. Warships spun aimlessly, unsure where threats were coming from. For the first time, humans had the upper hand, and the aliens were forced to react instead of control. Dr. Morales watched the operation unfold, her hands trembling with tension and hope. Every strike, every maneuver was calculated to exploit the weakness uncovered in the Council's network. Cities across Earth held their breath, watching the skies with a mixture of fear and anticipation. The tension was palpable. Success or failure would decide the fate of the planet. Then, in an unexpected twist, one of the largest alien ships attempted a direct attack on a human command center. It was intercepted at the last moment by a well-timed countermeasure, sending it spinning harmlessly into the upper atmosphere. Cheers erupted worldwide, but there was no time to celebrate fully. The Council was still strong, and humanity's fight was far from over.
The skies over Earth erupted in chaos as the Galactic Council launched their largest assault yet. Massive warships moved in perfect formation, their engines glowing like molten stars.
Lasers streaked across the atmosphere, and the roar of engines filled every sensor. Humanity had survived smaller encounters before, but this was different. This was an all-out strike meant to crush resistance once and for all. Dr. Morales and her team stayed in constant contact with command centers worldwide. Every human-controlled satellite, drone, and defense system had to operate flawlessly. The suspense was unbearable. One misstep could spell disaster. Ordinary citizens watched the skies with fear, but also awe, as flashes of light danced above cities and oceans. Humanity had learned to fight smart, not just hard. The first wave of alien attacks was met with carefully orchestrated countermeasures. Drones disrupted targeting systems, electromagnetic pulses short-circuited sensors, and decoys confused the invaders. Each maneuver was a high-stakes gamble, yet for the first time, the aliens seemed uncertain. Humanity's unpredictability was causing hesitation in even the most advanced fleets of the Council. Then came the unexpected twist. A small, modified spacecraft, guided by a young pilot, infiltrated the command fleet. It released a series of devices that hacked the alien network, causing confusion and panic. Warships collided, formations broke apart, and entire sections of the alien fleet became useless. Across Earth, people watched in astonishment as the impossible began to happen. Humans were winning. The battle raged for hours, each moment more tense than the last. Dr. Morales monitored the skies, her heart pounding as she coordinated the final stages of the operation. The aliens, stunned by the boldness and ingenuity of humanity, struggled to regain control. Earth's forces, small but clever, pushed forward with unwavering determination. As the sun rose, the Council's retreat became clear. The skies were littered with debris, and the largest ships withdrew, unable to continue. Humanity had survived the epic battle, not through overwhelming firepower, but through intelligence, courage, and unity. The suspense of uncertainty was finally replaced with triumph, yet everyone knew the war was not over. For the first time, Earth had shown the galaxy its true strength: defiance, ingenuity, and a spirit that could not be crushed.
The Galactic Council regrouped in their distant starship, their leaders tense and uneasy. Humanity had survived wave after wave of attacks, defied their ultimatums, and even struck back with clever, unpredictable tactics. For the first time, the Council faced a species that refused to submit, and uncertainty rippled through their ranks. On Earth, celebrations were muted, but filled with pride. Citizens watched the skies cautiously, knowing the Council's retaliation could come at any moment. Dr. Morales and her team remained vigilant, analyzing data from every encounter, every intercepted signal. They had proven their ingenuity, but the next challenge would be the toughest yet. Suspense gripped the world. The fate of humanity hung in the balance. Then came a message, broadcast across all channels. The Council spoke calmly, almost curiously. Humanity shows unexpected resilience. Submission is advised. Continued defiance may force outcomes neither side desires. The words were meant as a threat, but to humans they felt like acknowledgement. Earth had made an impression, and defiance had become a weapon. Meanwhile, smaller skirmishes continued in orbit. Alien scouts tested Earth's defenses only to find traps, decoys, and clever countermeasures at every turn. Humans moved with precision, improvisation, and unity. Even ordinary civilians contributed. Engineers rerouted signals, students helped decrypt alien communications, and pilots executed daring maneuvers that confused the invaders. The suspense never let up. Each victory was tempered by the knowledge that the Council's might remained vast. In a bold,
unprecedented move, humanity launched a coordinated broadcast to every alien fleet in orbit. They displayed Earth's defiance, clever strategies, and the spirit of millions refusing to surrender. The Council's forces paused, unprepared for such audacity. For the first time, a ripple of doubt passed through their leaders. Could they truly destroy a species that would not break? Dr. Morales watched the skies, her heart racing. The tension was electric, almost unbearable. Humanity had forced the Council to reconsider, not through power alone, but through courage, cleverness, and unity. The stakes were higher than ever, and yet hope burned brighter. Earth had survived the worst. The Council had learned a vital lesson. Some forces cannot be controlled, calculated, or crushed. And in that truth, humanity found strength. Preparing for the final move that could decide the fate of their world and perhaps the galaxy itself.
The skies above Earth were tense with anticipation. The Galactic Council's fleet hovered, waiting for humanity to make a final move or to submit. But the planet had changed. Cities were united, satellites and drones were aligned, and every human heart beat with defiance. The Council had underestimated one vital truth. Courage could not be measured, and the spirit of humanity was unbreakable. Dr. Morales and her team coordinated the final strategy. Using everything learned from the previous battles, they devised a plan to strike at the heart of the Council's surveillance network. The goal was simple, but daring. Disrupt the alien fleet's communication and coordination, giving Earth a moment to show its strength. Every signal, every maneuver, every decision had to be precise. The suspense was unbearable. Failure was not an option. As the operation began, flashes of light streaked across the sky. Alien sensors faltered, warships became disorganized, and confusion spread like wildfire through the Council's forces. Ordinary humans, from engineers to pilots to citizens on the ground, played their roles flawlessly. It was not brute force, but intelligence, creativity, and unity that had turned the tide. Then came the boldest move, a broadcast across every alien ship, showing humanity's defiance, resilience, and ingenuity. The message was simple, yet powerful. We will not surrender. For the first time, the Council hesitated. Their sensors and strategies could not anticipate the raw courage and unpredictability of an entire planet united. Suspense hung in every moment as the galaxy waited. One by one, alien ships faltered. Miscalculations, confusion, and unexpected disruptions caused a chain reaction. The Council's fleet, once overwhelming, began a retreat. Earth's skies were filled with glowing trails of departing ships, a sign that humanity had survived, not by surrendering, but by refusing to bow to fear. Across the globe, humans watched, tears in their eyes, as the first true victory in history was realized. Dr. Morales smiled, knowing the message was clear. Even the mightiest powers could be stunned by courage, unity, and defiance. The Galactic Council had underestimated humanity, and Earth had proved that no force, no matter how vast, could break the will of those who refused to give in. In that moment, the planet laughed, not in mockery, but in triumph. Humanity had survived, and the galaxy had learned a truth it would never forget. Earth did not surrender.